Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Doctor Who. Last time on Doctor Who, we had the Power of Three. There was the slow invasion of the cubes, the Doctor had to stay for a little while, and we went back and forth on the will they, won't they of Amy and Rory traveling with the Doctor. And the entire episode, they were building that they were going to not go with the Doctor, and instead they were going to stay because, they started to make commitments. They started to, have a real life with, other people and stuff like that. And they were starting to, drift away from the Doctor. And, yeah, they would see him every once in a while. But for the most part, we were building up towards, letting him go on his own adventure and staying home. And then at the end, right the hell out of nowhere, they decided, no, we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to go with him. So everything we've been doing since the God Complex has all just been a giant... I don't want to say waste of time because we've had good episodes in there. But I won't say waste of time, but it's been one huge... string along, basically. We've just been stringing you along since the God Complex to tell you, basically that, yes, we are keeping the actors after all. Well, I guess I already made my piece on it. I said everything I really need to say in the last episode. So yeah, they're going to stick on for a while. I have no idea how long they're going to stay on for, and you know what? Whenever they decide to actually leave, we're just going to have to cross that bridge when we get there. For now, we are going to sort of set those feelings aside about this whole will they, won't they plotline that they had. We're going to set that aside, and we're just going to enjoy the episodes as they are. So, yeah. That's pretty much that. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. This is also where I say, no, I don't say anything else. No, sorry, I'm so used to all my other videos where I have to do redirects that I almost said it here, but we don't have to do that. Luckily, copyright is not an issue here most of the time, and so we are allowed to host the reaction video in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, spoiler titles. Oh well, can't get around them sometimes.
New York, the city of a million stories.
Hey.
Half of them are true, the other half just haven't happened yet.
New York. We're going to fucking New York.
Statues, the man said.
So we got a PI on the case of moving statues. Wonder what those could be. In New York. Yeah, one of them's gone. It's coming for you.
If something scared him, I kind of wanted to shake its hand.
That just looked like a shot from Friends. It's the most I know about New York, by the way. I've never been to New York. Would like to go someday, though. If I have money. No, I wouldn't trust. Oh, there's multiples. That's a weeping angel right there. Oh, and now there's children. Yeah, that's more like it. Ah! So scary. Oh wait, this is him. Whoa, what?
Who are you?
It's him, isn't it?
They're coming for you.
The
They're
angels.
going to send you back.
Yeah, that's
Back where?
their original power.
You.
From the future. Well, your future. And that's when he dies. Ah! Ah! There ain't no escaping. Wait a minute. Is there a giant?
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh! Oh no! Oh no! The Statue of Liberty! Oh dear.
Is it your hair?
Oh, shut up. It's the glasses.
Yeah, you idiot.
I'm wearing reading glasses now on my nose, see? There you go.
I
She's
don't
getting
like
older.
Them. They make your eyes look all liney.
They could
No,
get
actually,
better ones.
Sorry, they're fine. Carry on.
Okay, I'm
Round glasses aren't the best.
coffee. Me too. I'll go.
Rory,
That's why I go for the Clark Kent glasses.
all lines on my eyes now. Why did you do that?
Oh, I always rip out the last page of a book. And it doesn't have to end. I hate endings.
Well,
As
that's
I
true.
cross the street.
Oh shit, I think... Ugh, no! God damn it, they're still here. Oh, no! They're tiny! Why would it single out Rory, though? That's what I want to know. Also, in New York City, you're bound to be seen by someone.
He said, I just went to get coffees for the doctor and Amy.
Ugh,
Hello, River.
River!
Hello.
Melody.
Where am I?
This city's full of time distortions. It'd be impossible to land the TARDIS here.
Really?
Like trying to land a plane in a blizzard.
1938. Easy one.
Now but he has landed the TARDIS in Manhattan before. Whoa! Like, how far after... Oh no. Oh dear.
What was that?
1938. We just bounced off it.
Good lord. But he's gone to New York before. When the Daleks were in Manhattan.
Where we started in 2012.
We didn't start in a graveyard.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
That I probably causally linked somehow. Doesn't matter.
Oh, is Rory's grave
We're
here?
gonna get there somehow. We're in the rest of the book.
And what?
Live to
Page
death.
43, you're gonna break something.
Once we know what's coming, it's fixed. I'm going to break something because you told me that I'm going to do it. No choice now.
Time can be rewritten.
Yeah.
Once you've read it. Once we know what's coming, it's written in stone.
Oh, I knew it! Rory Arthur Williams. The babies. Great baby angels! That ain't gonna last long. Fuck this episode. Oh.
They're deadly.
Clever.
What do you want with them?
It means, Mr. Grail, just you wait till my husband gets home.
Yeah. Trying to look good. Make sure he looks good for the wife.
How's prison?
Oh, I was pardoned ages ago, and it's Professor Song to you.
Oh. Oh, you made it up to that point.
Pardon?
Turns out
nice.
the person I killed never existed in the first place. Apparently, there's no record of him.
Handy hints, previews, spoiler free.
Chapter titles.
That's clever.
Doctor, what is it? Tell me.
He's still at the front. Oh, no.
Okay, I know that face. Calm down. Calm down.
Fucking spoiler titles.
I'm reading a displacement, but there are no temporal markers.
Okay,
He's
good.
been moved in space, but not in time, and it's not that far from here by the look of it.
They can do that?
You got out.
So, where is he?
Okay, good. Yeah, that's a good point. She got out, therefore we can save Amy.
Show me.
Did you just break her wrist? God damn it, Doctor. Fucking spoiler-ass titles. They do that on the show, too. What the...
No, stop that. Stop that. Stop it.
He can do that?
See, shall we? That was stupid waste of regeneration energy. Nothing is gained by you being a sentimental idiot. Oh, you embarrass me.
I wonder if that takes off some years. Like when he did the thing in
What you want?
Age of Steel.
To the science part.
Rory.
Amy.
Okay. Maybe it was just a trap for all of them.
Look at this.
It's
Is
smiling.
it smiling?
That's new.
Amy.
Shit.
Amy.
Shit, he died. He's dying again! This is where he dies, and that's why he's already buried in 2012.
How many angels in New York?
It's like they've taken over every statue in the city.
Yeah, the angels take Manhattan because they can, because they've never had a food source like this one. The city that never sleeps.
Yeah.
What was that?
But I think they're coming for you.
Yeah. So they're gonna just keep looping him.
The paradox poisons the well. It could kill them all. Oh, this
Interesting.
whole place could literally unhappen.
Better get started.
Husband, run.
Alright.
I'm not sure this can work.
Husband, shut up.
Yeah. It's like a double date night. Nope, no, they're not gonna let you through. It's there! It's only stopped because we saw it.
I always wanted to visit the Statue of Liberty. I guess you got impatient.
Yeah.
But there's a way out.
What are you doing?
No. Don't.
Need a little help here.
Just stop it.
Push him over.
This will work. This will kill the angels.
It will kill you too.
Will it?
I don't know. Paradoxes are weird. That's not. No. Don't go together. No one's looking at it.
Together.
Oh god, they're gonna go together.
Not at all.
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
Change
right?
the future. It's called marriage.
Huh. God, this paradox better fucking work. Okay. So that's just a normal angel. I fucking hate statues, by the way. Like, the show has ruined statues for me. Okay, good.
Where are we?
Back where we started.
They're good now.
The paradox.
Yeah, so does it?
Amy.
It still says Rory.
There's a gravestone here for someone with the same name as me.
What?
Maybe it's a different Rory.
Doctor! Where's Rory?
He's gone. Shit. He still died.
What are you talking about? Back away from the angel. Come back to the TARDIS. We'll figure something out.
The angel, would it send me back to the same time to him?
I don't know.
Go back with him?
But it's my best shot, yeah?
No.
Doctor, shut up! Yes, it is!
What? No! Well, no, I don't like either of these options.
Right?
No.
Raggedy man!
No!
Goodbye!
And his loving wife, Amelia Williams, aged 87. So, what do we do with this guy? Can we throw it into the fucking sun? So apparently I needed to wait on my rant for one more episode.
Maybe you'll listen to her.
What did we do with the angel?
Last page.
The last page. He hates endings. Oh, he didn't keep it. He just ditched it. That page is still floating around New York. Are you kidding?
There's a little girl waiting in a garden. She's going to wait a long while, so she's going to need a lot of hope. Go to her. Tell her a story. Tell her that if she's patient, the days are coming that she'll never forget. This is the story of Amelia Pond. And this is how it ends.
Now I feel like a fool for the rant I went on last episode. Man, if your name is not Sarah Jane Smith or Martha Jones, your fate is fucked up on this show. Between Rose, who, yes, eventually Rose got a happy ending, but her original ending, the way she got off the show, Rose, Donna, Amy, Rory, Adric. Oh my god, man. Gah! Okay, fine, I'm sad. Fine, you win, Moffat, I'm sad. You win, guys. I'm sad about Amy and Rory. I blame Brian. Brian should have just had them stay home. Immediately after Brian is like, no, you should keep traveling. It's okay. I know we've gone over all the risks that happen with being a companion, but go on. Immediately, everything goes to hell and they died. This is a weird mixture of sadness and infuriation. Just, oh, this is how we did it. Oh my gosh, just immediately after this whole thing I just went on. So we had to go for another half season to finally end their characters. And I mean, end their characters. So they lived the rest of their lives in that room in 1938. Well, no, leading up to 1938. Fuck! God damn it, why can't a companion just leave and be happy? Like Martha, even Sarah Jane, she at least got to leave and, you know, she got to go do the K9 pilot, and then she got her own show. Like, do they do it to where, like, if the actors just have no reason they would want to ever come back, that would be why? Like, why? Why do we have to get rid of them in such huge fashion like this? Like Rose, like Donna, like Adric. God, I'm losing companions in the same week. Too many companions lost. Oh, even River won't stay around. I guess it makes sense, though, that if you're gonna, you know, end the characters of Amy and Rory, it's probably best that their daughter is there. Oh, so death finally stuck for Rory Williams. Because that's the thing, this whole thing of, oh, well, he's going to die, we got to create a paradox and everything. It's like, it should all work. It should all work. But it should all work because we have seen time and time again Rory Williams die and come back just fine. We do that so often. We do that so often. But this was the one. That's the thing. I thought that Rory had just found immortality. I thought there is just no way for death to stick on this guy. So honestly, it made the most sense that his end would be just living a life. The guy can't die. The guy doesn't die ever. But no, it stuck. Death stuck this time. And it stuck so hard that it stuck Amy too. Which doesn't quite make sense. Were they in the same room? Did she die earlier? Oh, they're probably the same age. But on the tombstone, it said... Wasn't it like she died a year younger than him? So she must have died, and then a year passed with Rory alone, which is why he would still be so, grateful to see her again at the end. That's why. Okay. Looking back on everything now, everything we've had since the God Complex, I understand kind of the story arc we went on. This story arc of the Doctor not actually being able to let them go. He thought he was doing it. He had done it so much before, but he's like, well, maybe I could come back, have them on a little bit, bring them around for a while, and then leave them again. But then it feels like, the arc came to a close with, they are going to go. They are going to go with him. And then it's like we get an epilogue of... Yeah, and then, 5 minutes after they decided to go with him, they fucking died. 5 hours later, basically. So, I can understand sort of the story arc we've been going on since the God Complex. It's had its ups and downs. The thing is, with a town called Mercy... That only vaguely tied into the overall arc, I suppose. That only vaguely tied in with, the Doctor shouldn't travel alone for so long. It changes him. Which they kind of bring around at the end here when River says, don't travel alone. So I guess we're going to go get a new chick. Next episode. Now I know next episode is a Christmas episode. And I know there's a mini-sode. We're going to be doing the mini-sode. If you're watching this when this went up, the day it went up, then the mini-sode should be up in a few hours, I guess, depending on... But that's only if you're watching this as soon as it came out. If you're not, then just go to the next episode. But don't worry about it. We will watch the next episode, the next mini-sode. But I do know the next proper episode is a Christmas special. For some reason, this season is, split into two. And, so this is the first half. The first half of this season, we kept Amy and Rory. And now the second half, starting with the Christmas special, we won't. I just... And I know some of you guys probably want me to go to the corner. I don't think that'll ever happen again, honestly. I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to the corner like I did at the beginning of season 6. That was funny, but that was really a one-time sort of deal. It's so weird. Because I was very adamant last episode about not liking the decision to keep Amy and Rory. And then just immediately, they're dead. Well, they're off the show. Careful what you fucking wish for, apparently. And that's the thing, I still like Amy and Rory. And this is a good episode. And it is a good conclusion to the two of them. But at the same time... It is... At the same time, it is infuriating. I almost feel like we need to do a stream. Honestly. Maybe I will. Maybe we'll think about doing that. You know, if you don't know, if you're watching this in the playlist, I guess, you might know because I put them in the playlist, but after each season, I do a live stream where I just talk about the season we finished, and they're always a lot of fun to do. I honestly may need to do that, and we're only at the halfway point, but that's the thing is, this feels like a season ender. It's like the only reason that this isn't a season ender is because this is only episode 5. There we go. Hair getting loose. Ugh. It's interesting that none of the angels are credited. Makes me wonder. Nope. No, they do not include... They do not include the angels in this, which is interesting. I wish at least it was like freaking, you know, the weeping angels and just like a question mark, like harkening back to Frankenstein. If you don't know, in the 1931 film Frankenstein, with Boris Karloff as the monster, he's not credited, at least in the beginning. In the opening credits, he's not credited as the monster. It's just a question mark to make it more mysterious, I guess. But in the end credits after the movie, it does say the monster, Boris Karloff. So Okay, hang on. Oh, wait. Forgot how far back that leans. Is that the best I can do here? I guess. Okay. Now I know I said at the beginning. We're gonna set aside all that, all the rant of all the stuff about Amy and Rory leaving, and we're just gonna judge this episode as an episode. Of course, this has to deal with Amy and Rory leaving the show at least. And it does tie into what they were saying with, you know, the Doctor hates endings. Which I understand, at least, you know, this one does. It's obvious that this Doctor does. I don't know how much I can say about the previous Doctors. Well, I mean, hell, look at Tennant. Number 10, the 10th Doctor, stuck around as long as he possibly could. He stuck around as long as he possibly could. So, I guess in a sense, as he gets older, he doesn't want things to end. So, I mean, that does kind of tie into, you know, sort of his character arc through this. Because that's the thing, it's a two-way character arc. It's the arc of Amy and Rory leaving, and the Doctor letting them leave. That's the other thing. Doctor didn't have to keep going back for them, but he did. You know what? I'm going to say that my opinion on this is 50-50. 50%, this was a really good episode. No doubt. This was a good episode, and that was a solid ending to their characters. The other 50%, and maybe I might even adjust that a bit more. The other 50, maybe less percent, is infuriation at this whole story arc of the will they, won't they, and then it's they will, except we won't let them. That's what it is. I just had an epiphany. That's what it is. It was this constant back and forth of will they, won't they, and then at the end, it was just we won't let them. I mean, I guess technically Amy had a choice. Amy had a choice. She didn't have to go back there. She didn't have to go back there and be with him. She did have the choice in the end. You know, does she go with Rory or does she go with the Doctor? So I guess that's true. Yeah, that actually does harken back to Amy's Choice, the episode. Does she choose Rory or does she choose the Doctor? Isn't that funny? But the thing is, her mind was completely made up, and it's not exactly the same choice. Rory didn't have the choice. That's another issue. Rory didn't have a choice. Amy did. Rory was just sent back. And I don't even understand the paradox anymore. It's like they created the paradox, which is how they got out of there, but then they But then that last angel undid the paradox, so the paradox shouldn't have happened, but it still did, but it didn't, which in and of itself is a paradox. I guess that's kind of the point, though. You're not supposed to understand a paradox. Well, we'll let that one go. It's conflicting. It is conflicting. On the one hand, this was a great episode and a good ending to those characters. If this was any character, if this was any of our companions, this would have been a... Well, I mean, you would need two of them. So if this was like, I don't know, Martha and Mickey, maybe. So maybe that doesn't work. This is why he doesn't take married couples either. Jo Grant left to get married, from what I'm told. I know she said that. Yeah. She said that in Death of the Doctor. Just... Even if it was just Rory. Even if they just took Rory back, and then we just let Amy go, and that, you know, this is how she decides she cannot stay with the Doctor. See, that's what infuriates me. That's what pisses me off. Is that we went through this whole thing of finally just letting a companion leave. We couldn't do that for Rose. We couldn't do that for Donna. Martha made the choice to leave. It's like finally we were going to get an instance of the Doctor just leaving someone behind. And it... We were finally just going to get the Doctor leaving someone behind. But they just decided to keep going with it for so long. And then they wrote themselves into a corner. They wrote themselves into a corner. Because now what are they going to do if they ever want to end the characters? So they just kill them. Why can't we just let a character leave? Why can't the Doctor just drop off a companion and then leave and go find someone else? Why do they all have to meet this sort of fate unless they specifically choose, basically? Because Martha chose. I guess that's the thing, is that it's the difference, basically. That would have been the difference. A difference with that, you know? Because Martha just left. And she left of her own accord. And see, that would make an interesting sort of parallel if the Doctor left them. Like he did in the God Complex. Maybe he'll leave the next one. Maybe he'll finally stop and be like, you know what, at a point, I gotta let you go. But then again, I guess with Martha, I guess, wasn't as important to him. Which was kind of the point. That's kind of why she left. She knew. Because coming right off of Rose, it didn't work. Well, yeah, I mean, coming right off of Rose, the Doctor was still, you know, grief-stricken. And then even when he tried to have another companion, it didn't work. And then he got Donna, who became his best friend. Never get close to the Doctor. If you ever get close to the Doctor, you're screwed. That's why Martha's still alive. That is why... You know what would actually be amazing? If next season we just went and got her again? Like, can we have our next episode, I guess, in the Christmas special? Can we just go pick her up, at least for one episode? Oh, that would be amazing, actually, if he went and got Martha. Because she is the only one to leave and have a good life. Rose stranded in another world. Yes, eventually we just sort of left her there. Eventually we just left her there. And then I guess, you know, she did have a good life. Ugh. But then Donna, we had to erase her mind. And I guess she had a good life. You know what? That's the other thing. Amy and Rory really get screwed here. Because Rose, they eventually gave a good life. Even Donna, you know, yes, we had to erase her all memory of the Doctor and the TARDIS and all those adventures, but she's going and living a good life now. You know, she got married. She's going, she can live her life. Amy and Rory are stuck in a room. Amy and Rory are stuck in a room. Like, they didn't even get that. They didn't even get, like, a bittersweet ending. It was just kind of bitter. And I guess, you know, they have each other? But come on. Like, this may be, by and large, one of the worst companion endings we've had. Just let them go. Next companion, I want the Doctor to just drop them off at the end of a season and go find someone else. That's what I want for the next person. Whoever the hell is next. And I guess technically River gets to leave of her own accord. But just drop someone off. Just drop them off. Drop them off at a house with a car and let them live a life. And, you know, we just, you know, figure out stuff. You can pop in on them every once in a while, like if they're having poorly written divorce subplots. You can do that, but just drop them off. I'm tired of these sad endings for the companions. I am losing it, man. Just drop them off. Sarah Jane just dropped him off. Well, I gotta go deal with the Time Lords. Bye. Sorry. Don't forget me. I won't forget you. That's how that scene actually goes. I've seen that scene without seeing the episode, just because it keeps popping up. Like in Sarah Jane Adventures. But, you know, and it was more emotional than that, I know, but just... Just drop them off, for fuck's sake. Just write them off the show. Give them a good ending. A good ending. This is, by and large, one of the worst endings. Like, worse than... Like, at least Adric just died. Can we just say that? Spoilers, I guess, if you haven't seen Earthshock. Like, just... Like, if they're gonna die, just let them die. Because, now, correct me if I'm wrong. They are stuck in that room. They're stuck in that room, the two of them, until they die. Am I wrong? Like, help me out here. Like, did they... Like, were they allowed to walk around New York City? Just stuck? Could they live a life? That's what I want to know. Because this whole concept of the farm suggests that that's not how that works. So you guys tell me if that's how that worked. You guys tell me if that's how that worked. Because when we first saw them in Blink and they sent the Sally Sparrow's friend back in time, you know, she lived a life. She got married, she had kids, she had grandkids, you know? Like, were Amy and Rory at least able to do that? Well, obviously they can't have kids. We established that at the beginning of the season, but... And the Doctor would not be able to go back there. The Doctor would not be able to go back there. Because New York City is time-locked, I guess? I don't know how that works. I dropped my pen. And I guess that would mean River can't go back there either. Well, but wait, she can. And wait, she sends the book in to be published. So they can live a life, can't they? They're not trapped in the room, are they? No, they can live a life. Like, they didn't make that clear, okay? Because she put the afterword. She wrote the afterwards, so... So maybe they're... Do they just live a life? Is that it? But do they have to keep going back there? Maybe that's... Okay, maybe they can live a life in 1800s New York until they catch up to 1938. Okay. Well, I guess that's not horrible. Yeah, what was the afterword again? Let me listen to it again. Maybe I'm so emotional, maybe I'm just missing shit.
Afterward, by Amelia Williams. Hello, old friend. And here we are. You and me. On the last page. By the time you read these words, Rory and I will be long gone.
Yeah.
So know that we lived well, and we're very happy.
Take the glasses.
And above all else, know that we will love you always.
So they were happy.
Sometimes I do worry about you, though. I think once we're gone, you won't be coming back here for a while.
Earth?
You might be alone, which you should never be.
Yeah.
Don't be alone, Doctor. And do one more thing for me. There's a little girl waiting in a garden.
Yeah. People are doing lawn work out there. Fuck them. Okay, so they just lived. They weren't just trapped in a room. I guess that's better. Okay, so maybe Adric's is worse. With Adric, it was quick. Fuck. I have been going for an hour and 23 minutes, and I haven't even actually started the notes. So I guess they did choose to live a normal life, but was not exactly the same choice that they made last episode. First thing I wrote down was Sam Garner. I kind of wish we kept him. Like, I get what they were going for here, and I guess, you know, with the inclusion of River, it's okay, but it's like, I did like, you know, the beginning, that sort of detective noir sort of vibe we had to it. I did like that. The giant angel. So the angels possessed every statue, basically. That's what they said. And of course, that would mean the Statue of Liberty. Fucking Ghostbusters. Oh. Yeah. Fucking Ghostbusters 2. Gotta get the NES Advantage and fucking... Yeah. So that was interesting. It didn't really do anything. It just kind of, you know, was there and, you know, was like, ah! And that was that. Yeah. The more I think about it, it's like, it really was just there, wasn't it? Melody Malone. That was interesting. This whole book that River writes. And then at the end, she sends to Amy for publication, which is interesting. Yeah, that was interesting. The whole thing with, you know, reading the book as it's happening, basically. Be cool if they actually sold that book based on this episode. I wrote down translation. I do like the idea that because, you know, the TARDIS has, you know, the translating power feature, I guess you could say. So that's interesting that it actually sort of lingers with you. I guess you could say it's sort of the, maybe not the residual Artron energy that, you know, they've talked about before, but I think that's more like, I guess it's sort of like, maybe it's kind of like the Void stuff, maybe, but Void stuff specifically has nothing to do with the translation, so I don't know, it's interesting. Alright, New York, 1938. New York City, what did they call it? Like it's almost temporally locked? Like, or there's so many anomalies there? There's so many temporal anomalies in New York City that it's hard to land the TARDIS there. Bearing in mind, we had an episode called Daleks in Manhattan. Always Manhattan, man. Go to Queens or something. I said that with no knowledge of if Queens is on the island of Manhattan. Oh, this is awkward. Oh, go to Long Island. There, that's not Manhattan. That is the island of Manhattan. That's what I always think of when I hear Manhattan Island or something. There's just fucking Nick Fury saying that. So, we've had an episode where they went back to 1930s New York. And everything seemed to be fine. But this episode comes along and is like, well, there's so many temporal anomalies in New York that it's impossible to, you know, temporally land there. In the past, because they were able to make it there in 2012. But 1938, no, that's tricky. Okay. River Song was pardoned because the guy she killed didn't exist. I like that little continuity in there because the Doctor has erased all trace of him from the universe. It's like, oh, he doesn't exist, so I guess you didn't kill anyone, you know? So that's interesting. And now she is Professor Riversong. She's getting ever so closely to the library, which we already saw in the last night minisode. We saw the Doctor taking her out for one last date, basically, before she went to the library. So I still like their chemistry. The chemistry between the two of them is still solid. And I like now the added layer of the two of them being husband and wife. So I wrote down the chapter titles. That was interesting. Is like, oh, we need a non-spoiler way of looking at the future. Chapter titles. That should work, right? No, that doesn't work because that doesn't work because fucking shit. Because sometimes they still will give you spoilers. Like the chapter that says Amelia's final farewell. Which I feel like is Doctor Who, you know, as the pot calling the kettle black. Because they do that all the time. This episode is called The Angels Take Manhattan. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen. Or Daleks in Manhattan. Or Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Or Asylum of the Daleks. You know? Episode titles like that, Doctor Who. God. There better not be any more. Actually, you know what? No, there's not. Because Amazon Prime is weird. There's no more episodes on their Season 7 page. I'm going to have to go to Season 8 to get the rest of Season 7. This only has 10 Oh, no, it doesn't. Never mind. Okay, never mind. Never mind. So on Amazon Prime, it's Season 701, and then Season 702, and then 801, 901, and 1001. Okay, never mind. But yeah, Doctor Who, you got titles of chapters, or episodes you could call them, shouldn't give away any spoilers. Like, seriously, they better not do that ever again, but I know they will. So yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, Doctor Who, come on. Look at yourself in the mirror here. Oh. Regen. So the Doctor used regeneration energy to heal River's hand, which she says is a waste of regeneration energy. Now that doesn't use up an entire regeneration, does it? That doesn't use an entire regeneration, just some regeneration energy. Like, you know, I kind of said, like, what if it's like in I think it was just called Rise of the Cybermen. The first Cybermen episode, where, like, he found this little thing that still had power in the TARDIS, and he needed to give it more power in order for the TARDIS to run, basically. So he... and it, you know, lit up, and he was like, I just gave away 10 years of my life. You know, it's like, okay, so that's 10... we assume that's like 10 years of his regeneration, basically. Unless it's like Death Note, and it's actually 10 years away from when he would actually die. I don't know. So I wonder if that's sort of the same thing. Like, he just gave away a few years of his life, or this life, or however that works, to heal. Or, heck, maybe that'll do something to his next regeneration. The next one is Capaldi, so maybe that's why he's not a young man anymore. Oh, that would be funny. All right, we had the farm. So this was a farm for energy. I'm not entirely sure how that works. Because apparently they can leave. They are allowed to leave. They are allowed to actually live in New York. I guess that's just where they live, is in that building with the angels. The angels aren't going to do anything to them. The angels aren't going to do anything to them because they're already there. They're already living to death. So, yeah. The paradox, that was cool. Trying to do a paradox, but that's the thing is, you know, there's a lot of, like, you know, when you have, like, a time travel show and there's so many rules about time travel, you know, I feel like Doctor Who sort of just makes them up on the fly, and then if something contradicts it, it's like, screw it, time is complicated, you know, which is an interesting attitude to take about this. But the one thing that seems to stay consistent with Doctor Who is a paradox, and how dangerous a paradox can be. So yeah, and they originally said, you know, if Rory just ran for the rest of his life, then it would create the paradox and he would be fine. Or the two of them could jump off the side of a building, kill themselves, and then there you go. The paradox would fix everything. Which was interesting. And then, you know, the two of them going together was also interesting. And then, you know, returning there. And then, of course, like, so the paradox worked. It destroyed almost every angel. But one lived. One lived. And that got Rory. So technically the paradox should never have happened, but it did. So now this in and of itself is a paradox. It's a paradox on another paradox, but whatever. I guess they just had to find some way of getting rid of them because we just have to kill them. No one could just leave. Unless your name is Martha Jones, you will never get the choice to leave. And unless your name is Sarah Jane Smith, the Doctor will never just kick you out. And even then, he didn't want to. It's just that he had to go to Gallifrey. Because the fucking president was going to be assassinated. I don't know. Was it a good episode? Yeah, it was a good episode. I still liked most of the episodes this season. I still like the episodes this season, but this whole story arc about with Amy and Rory, you know, the will they, won't they, and then finally they will, but we won't let them. That it kills me, but we don't have to deal with that anymore. That story's over, you know? That story is over and done. Darby's barking. Next time, we will move on to another companion. And maybe that one will leave. Well, it's probably the lawn guys next door he's barking at. Oh, yeah. Is he done? He might be done. So, one last time, overall, great episode. Did enjoy it. It is still technically a good ending to the characters. It's just an infuriating ending to an infuriating subplot. An infuriating story arc. But it's okay. We have gotten past it. And we will move on to something else. Minisode will be up in a few hours. Next week it's Christmas. Yeah. I don't know. It's like I feel like there should be something else I should say, but I don't know. I still love Amy and Rory. I still love the show. I'm curious to see where we go from here. How will Matt Smith adjust to not having those two? I mean, he seemed to do fine in The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe, but what the fuck ever. So, what if we go get Craig? Oh my god, that'd be funny. What if we go get Craig after, the kid, I don't remember his name, but the kid, like, after he's grown up, so we just take Craig? Oh, that'd be fun. We get, like, old man Craig or some shit. I don't know. You know what? I think it's time to go get Craig. I think we need Craig. We'll see. Will the Doctor go get Craig? We'll have to find out next time on Doctor Who. He probably won't, but whatever. I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video, and thanks for suffering through my rants about Doctor Who. If you want to watch more of my Doctor Who reactions, though, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon, follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.